when the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie. That's amore.
Captain, I'm getting a reading I don't understand.
Welcome to episode 5 of Prodigy. Okay? Star Trek Prodigy episode 1 and 2, Lost and Found. Episode 3, Starstruck. Episode 4, Dreamcatcher. Episode 5, Terra Firma, baby. Not the first time we heard the word Terra something in Star Trek. We heard in Star Trek Enterprise Terra Nova. Now we got Terra Firma. Okay? This is a second half of a two-parter that began last week with the episode Dreamcatcher, of course. We've gone to an M-class planet, our first away mission. Everything goes wrong. Brief recap. The ship is lost somewhere on a planet that is a giant plant-like life form consuming objects that land upon it. There's your rundown. This is part 2. How did we get back to the ship? Okay. We find out that the ship, the Protostar, is lost about 10 kilometers away from the crew. And we have Gwyn, who had previously launched a shuttle away from the crashing Protostar, escaped, crashed the shuttle. Gwyn was fine. They found her. We have Gwyn, rok-tahk, Dal, Murph, Zero, and Jank and Pog. We're all A-okay, but we're wandering through the deep, dark woods of this foreboding alien planet, which is indeed a living thing. The planet could show you your greatest internal desires, your greatest fears, and change itself physically to confuse you, because it wants to eat you. We're walking around, we're looking at our tricorder, trying to find the way back to the ship. Zero notices we were 10 kilometers away 10 kilometers ago. What gives? I don't remember going around in circles. The planet's rearranging itself. It's terraforming, as they say. In this case, not to help people survive on it, but to better catch its prey. Meanwhile, Solum, the diviner, who is Gwyn's father, and Dreadnought are hot on the trail of this M-class planet that they've landed on after Gwyn had sent them, unfortunately, the signal to where the Protostar was, selling out her new friends. Very sad. However, we come upon a large plant structure mimicking what was called a Watcher, which was like a giant robot, I guess, on the mining planet that they were living on. You know, the one they escaped from? And they can't dispatch it with phasers, and sure enough, Gwyn has this idea to wrap a stick in fabric or something, light it on fire with the phaser, and then burn these plants. So you cannot defeat the imaginary hallucinations it's giving you, but what you can do is burn the plants. Okay, so we burn the plants, and we have to escape now from fire. Meanwhile, back on the ship, Hologram Janeway is thinking, plants are eating the ship. What am I going to do? Think, Hologram Janeway, think. I know. What would the real Janeway do? She'd clean house. Launch photonic sweeper drones. And these little robots, sure enough, which look like exocomps from TNG, if you remember, are launched from inside the Protostar, and they just phaser beam away all the plants attaching to the Protostar. And I'm thinking, hold on. If you're a hologram, why did we need to take time to think about what we needed to do? Why would the hologram not just know how to access that section of the ship's functions and do it immediately? Why didn't she do it last episode? Do holograms have to take a moment to think? If Data thought that long in TNG, that would be astounding, because he would think up that plan in a millisecond before it became dangerous. Because these holograms, androids, they're essentially computers. Why do they have to take a moment to think of what to do? Very weird. Anyway, we find out that there is a section of the ship that Janeway cannot access. Okay, that is called the Protostar Core, or the Protostar Containment. As it turns out, hologram Janeway does not have 100% access to ship systems. She is not a captain or part of the crew, technically. She is locked out of the proto drive, the secret drive we've all been wondering about, hidden in the background. That's the Protostar's trump card, deep down inside the ship. This secondary form of warp, she has no access to it. So we've set it up. We'll get the payoff later. I should note that this episode has the best setup and payoff mechanics so far of any episode in Prodigy, and possibly any episode in the last few years, honestly. Lots of setup, lots of payoff. Remember, a few moments in this episode, we show Gwyn's golden, mind-controlled metal arm piece thing. Gwyn, you've seen it before, if you've been watching. Gwyn has like a bracelet made of this gold material that she can control with her mind, and she can liquefy it and reharden it in any shape we want. Remember that, okay? Also remember that the planet can create visions of what you want to see. And remember that we're teasing the Protostar drive. Important. So, Janeway is flying the ship, prepare the ship for takeoff. We need to, number one, get rid of the plants. However, our crew, having escaped the hologram hallucination watcher, we's getting hungry, boy. We gotta get some food in that stomach there, boy. And we find a crashed Klingon vessel. Convenient. Immediately I thought that, this is a hallucination too, but it wasn't. It turns out, for whatever reason, this Klingon crashed ship was a real crashed Klingon vessel with food still on board, and you could see the gag they were eating. You know, the worms, Klingon gag. You gotta try it. It's good. Don't knock it till you try it. They get on board this ship, and they, of course, have a rest up, eat their food, and then for whatever reason, the planet has stopped trying to eat them when they're in this ship. I don't know why, but they have a brief moment of respite and discuss their feelings so far on their away mission. Pretty bad for a first day, eh? In the core. Starfleet. Rok-tahk says something about, those fluffy hallucination animals I saw. They didn't care what I looked like, and they were so cute. Zero remarking about how it saw the core of the ship inside a hedge maze, playing into her desire to puzzle out the true nature of the Protostar. Jink and Pog, of course, he found food, which is what he wanted. But when it came around to Dal, turned out he just wanted to see his parents, which it's sad and earnest in a way that the other characters weren't. His desires are pure. He is a righteous character of just morals, and he comes off as hot-headed, but that's not true. He's out here for a reason. He's out here to find his past and to find his future and to find freedom for his crew. I think he's a natural born captain. This character is Dal. And they've made amends with Gwyn. Gwyn is, of course, following them. Rok-tahk, of course, offering her hand. Rok-tahk, of course, has been in 2 fight scenes with Gwyn, and now Rok-tahk finds it in her heart to forgive Gwyn and reach out a hand to her to save her, okay? Because Gwyn has broken her leg. Gwyn fixes her leg by using the mind control green metal stuff to form a metal cast around her leg. Very interesting. Imaginative visuals here. Dal and Gwyn are having a conversation on the crashed Klingon vessel. You know, look at all these stars. When the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie, that's amore. And one of the stars is a shooting star. Wait a minute. Stars aren't supposed to move. They're fixed points. That's right. We can use the stars as like a compass to guide us back towards the protostar. Just like the boys did back in the day on Earth. So, of course, we're on the right track. We know how to get back to the protostar. We're looking at the stars. Dal found his own mek'leth. You know, that Klingon sword? Very cool. But you can see in this scene, Dal is holding it backwards. He's holding it with the curve pointing towards him. And I thought this might have been a mistake on the part of the creators, because I have very low expectations of people working on Star Trek now. I'm sorry. But then we see Jank and Pog hold the mek'leth the correct way. So they knew the correct way to hold it. They just made Dal hold it the other way just to do something different. Of course, we've seen a few episodes ago, or indeed the last episode, actually, Jank and Pog accidentally shooting himself with a phaser, holding it the wrong way. So it's kind of like a play on that. Beside the point, just a little visual thing I just noticed. So they're on their merry way, but guess who's there now? Guess who caught them? It's Dreadnought, the gigantic robot creature from the first episode. The Solum, the Diviner, and Dreadnought have now found them. They're in deep Targ poop. What are they going to do? This isn't a hallucination this time. Solum wants that ship, and Dreadnought wants to do whatever Solum wants to do. We're at an impasse. Gwyn is not going to let her new friends die. Gwyn has done a complete sea change now. She is now on the side of the Star Boys, and she is not going to let Dreadnought or anyone be shooting her new friends. If you want to kill them, you're going to have to go through me, baby. We've drawn a line in the sand. It's a sad thing, you know, it's being disowned by your parents disowning you. That's what was at the core of this episode. This episode, the emotional core that I often opine about, that is so necessary for a Star Trek episode. This episode has it. It has the question of, what are your children worth to you? The Diviner finds the protostar after he waylays our crew. And the plants of the planet are eating Gwyn. And the Diviner has to choose between his daughter and the protostar. We don't know why he needs the protostar, but they could have easily just made him a mustache twirling villain. But, I mean, you see in this moment, he's struggling. He doesn't want to leave his daughter. He wants the ship, and he's struggling. The bad guy is struggling to decide what to do, you know? There's something here. There's something here to chew on. There's more going on in the show than you would originally believe. I've thought more about this. This is more thought-provoking to me than any episode of Star Trek Discovery or Picard, by far. So is he going to leave his daughter? He ultimately chooses to leave his own daughter, Gwyn, to get eaten by the plants of the planet and to go after the protostar. And Gwyn, in her mind, she's disowning her father, and her father's disowning her, and it's sad, and it actually got to me a little bit, the way how I thought about it, and how it clicked into the hole in my mind palace, you know. It was a very, very good episode until a certain point, and I'll get to it. Our main characters are on the lam. Gwyn is being eaten by the plants of the planet. like vines. Sure enough, there's a fake out though, right? Remember how the planet shows you what you most want to see in order for it to capture you? Well, the diviner, he thinks he's going to the protostar. He touches it, and it's just vines. It's a hallucination. I did not see this coming. This episode, it got me. I didn't see it. I actually thought that the diviner was going to get away on the protostar. This episode tricked me. I got fooled. And the setup was perfect, and the payoff felt great. And I got a huge dopamine cascade in my brain zone from this payoff and reveal. The protostar was fake. The real protostar actually has our crew on board and Janeway flying away. And sure enough, the diviner is, dang it! It was a fake! It wasn't real! Nice. So the protostar, the real one, flying away. Holy crap, where's Gwen? We have to get Gwen. And if this episode couldn't get any more of a joyous crescendo, our main characters are using a rope, and they're lowering Dal down off the shuttle bay, and he's down there reaching out his hand, trying to grab for Gwen. Will you take my hand? Right? You take Dal's hand, and you've transferred over to the protostar. You're no longer the diviner's daughter if you do this. Will you take my hand? But there's a problem. They cannot reach far enough. Gwen is being eaten by these plants. She cannot reach Dal's hand. But we remember the golden bracelet that she can control with her mind. It liquefies, goes to the edge of her hand, and then extends out just far enough so that Dal can grab it. And Dal grabs that golden thing, which was an heirloom from her father. That was a gift from her father. The thematic things going on. I don't even know what to make of it anymore. This is a whole symphony of emotion. Okay? Everything is symbolizing something else. Things that happen in this episode actually mean something. We get on board the ship and we're flying away to safety. Very curiously, one of them makes the call to point the ship in the furthest direction, just warp as far away as you possibly can, which I'd never heard that in Star Trek before. Did you hear that before? Someone just say warp away as far as you can? That's kind of a strange thing to ask a ship to do, but they are children, I guess. Young adults, maybe. I don't know. I don't have any idea how these different species, their ages work. I mean, they sound young, but they're flying away, and Jankum, I think, is saying, oh, I'm getting a reading I don't understand. Remind anybody of Star Trek Into Darkness? Here comes the diviner ship inside their warp tunnel. They rip this off totally from Star Trek Into Darkness, which sucks, because I do not enjoy that movie. This is where the episode goes from being an 8.5, and it sinks down to a score that I will not reveal yet, but just know that this is where the episode kind of gets a little nasty. They're getting away. The diviner ship is coming at them. They're talking to them on the main viewer. It's exactly like Star Trek Into Darkness. Cool scene, but stupid. You know what I mean? It looks cool, but you're not supposed to see two ships in the same warp tunnel in Star Trek. I mean, you're not even supposed to have a blue Star Wars style light tunnel to travel through anyway. That's not what warp looks like. Why does it look like this? Maybe they were using the quantum slipstream drive? Does the protostar have quantum slipstream? I don't know. But they don't know what to do. And Jankum's like, something's sucking all the juice. We need more power. We need more power. Scotty, we need more power. Guess what, boys? We have the protostar drive here. Holy shit. We're this many episodes in, we're finally going to see it. We're finally going to see what the protostar can do. And they press that button. Payoff for the setup. Janeway hinted at the existence of this protostar drive that not even she could access as a ship hologram. They turn it on, and that proto drive, powered by a protostar, a baby star as it were, contained inside that ship. Not sure why that gives off so much power, a protostar. Maybe that will be explained further in better detail later. The ship changes configuration mid-warp while it's being chased by the Diviner. Holy crap, we're activating the proto drive. The nacelle pylons swoop down. The back cracks open, reveals a third nacelle in the center that comes out. And Protostar is just gone. And the Diviner and Dreadnought are saying, "Oh, can we find out where they go? Where did they go?" And they're not on any of our maps. I believe Dreadnought says they're gonzo. And the look on the Diviner's face as the Protostar and his daughter are gone. He lost both of the things he had in his life. He had his daughter, and he had his desire for the Protostar, and now they're both stripped away. So what kind of emotional effect is that going to have on our villain? This is the first time I cared about what the villain was going to do in Star Trek in a long time. And he looks really cool. He's got a cool suit, man. He's got it's like halfway technology and halfway some kind of ceremonial garb. Interesting design. Interesting species, because if they all have that telepathic power. And the episode has a fantastic, mysterious ending. We do not see what happens on the other end of the proto drive activation. It just flips away, and the Diviner is saying they're gone. And the episode just cuts. Very cool way to end it. They could have ended it by showing them on the other side of that drive burn, but they didn't. So again, we're left. We've got a perfect contained story in a two-parter, and we're left with a mystery. Still, it was a great way to end the episode. So I mean, you look at this episode visually. Like all episodes of Prodigy, it looked really good. We had the activation of the proto drive, beautiful. We had the planet on full display again, with the vine creatures and all that, beautiful. We destroyed the runaway. Vines ate the runaway, the wheeled vehicle. Goodbye Argo, goodbye runaway, bye-bye, see you wheeled vehicle in the past, bye-bye. Thank God. And we got to see the Diviner ship, which was kind of ugly, but we did get to see it. Most poignantly, the beautiful moment between our characters on the Klingon derelict vessel. Just having a conversation about their feelings, who they are, what they want, what the core of their being is. It's that connection and that hurt is totally gone from every other Star Trek property now. But this episode had it. This episode had something. Not a very detailed way to put it, but this episode had something. If you're going to watch one episode of Prodigy, watch this one. It is a two-parter, so you're going to have to watch the one before it. I'd say watch the first episode and this at least. Music was beautiful in this episode. The main theme of Prodigy was played at just the right moments and teased at just the right moments to add a heroic musical motif to these scenes, making our characters feel triumphant, skilled, and most importantly, willing to cooperate with each other, okay? This is the episode where our crew finally came together as one unit. This is our crew becoming the hero ship. The Protostar activates the proto drive. We see Janeway in the captain's chair. Our crew is working together as one unit. We are coming together as one unit called the Protostar. We are the Protostar. Similar to how we were the Enterprise. We were the Voyager. We are the Protostar. We're here now. We are ready to go. We are ready to engage. If you discount the very ending, that was just a kind of a 1-to-1 remake of that section in Into Darkness, I would say this would be a very, very good episode. But that one thing at the end with the warp chase that didn't feel canon to me, and the part where Janeway has to think on how to clean the ship and just remember, even though she's a computer, how to use the photonic sweeper drones. Why didn't we use that earlier? And number 3, why is it that the plants kind of stop going after our characters enough to give them time to rest on the Klingon ship? Wasn't really explained that well. Kind of a nitpick, that third one. But these 3 things are what's holding this episode back from a great review. I would have given this an 8 if those 3 things did not happen. So unfortunately, I'm going to be very nice, and I'm going to give it a very strong 7.5. This is a good episode. It has heart. It has thrills, and it has chills. And we're getting to see what the Protostar can really do. We are now fully equipped to take on whatever new away missions we might have. And I'm looking forward to further episodes. I guess there's going to be another season. How many more adventures can we go on with the Protostar and its crew? When are we going to get some uniforms for these bad boys here? That's what I'm wondering. This has been Lieutenant Mark, and this is Star Trek Prodigy Terra Firma. I'll see you guys in the next episode. And if you're wondering, Star Trek Discovery Season 4 went live today as well. However, in my quadrant, we're not getting it until tomorrow. So, stay tuned for tomorrow, as well as next week, if we're going to have Prodigy continue next week, or Discovery, or if one of them's taking a break and one of them's not. I don't know how it's going to work. Things come in here on my streaming service, on my console here, when they come in. If I don't got them, I don't got them. And if I got them, I'll review them. It's that simple. See you guys later. Mark, out.